Travel is supposed to be fun, but sometimes not for the person who is doing all the planning. It could be quite a bit of work for the person who is trying to plan out the day with activities and meal breaks. I've spent countless hours doing research, clicking on endless websites, and then filtering down to what applies to our interests and time limitations. So I started to explore using AI to see if it can help with doing all the grudge work. But using AI is not just typing in a simple and broad query and expecting something useful. For example, I had a day trip to Denver coming up, so I typed in, "I have a day to spend in Denver. What should I do?" What I got back was a listing of some classic Denver landmarks, some top activities, and items uniquely Denver. Then a sample one-day itinerary that breaks down the day into morning activities, afternoon activities, and evening activities. Which is okay, but not exactly what I need because I won't be there in the evening and I don't care for the activities that they listed out. So does that mean AI suck? No, this is because you didn't give enough information to help the AI help you. This is the same as if you went to your travel agent and asked the same vague question. A good travel agent would respond by asking you for more detailed information like, hey, do you have any time limitations? What type of activities are you interested in, like indoor versus outdoors? What's your budget, etc. But AI isn't like your travel agent, so they don't know how to ask you more questions to help narrow down your query. So here are some basic tips as to how to work with the AI prompts to give you the best result to help you plan your trips. Let's continue with my Denver day trip as an example. So the first thing you need to do is you need to provide some context, right? You want to prime the AI bot with what you expect from it. So in my example here, context is that you are an experienced travel agent with knowledge of the Denver, Colorado area. Number two, you need to define the task, right? You need to describe exactly what you want the AI bot to do. So in my example, I typed in, please help us plan a day trip to Denver with a route for us with detailed itinerary. Please include places to eat local food for breakfast, lunch, and maybe a late afternoon snack if time permits. Number three, you want to define your travel style, right? You want to tell the AI what you like and don't like. So for me, I put in, we like museums and historical sites. We also like to have food that is unique to the area, and then budget is not an issue. Number four, you want to build your itinerary. So be as specific as possible about times and specific locations you want to visit. So in my example, I typed in, please create a one-day itinerary for us that starts at Denver Airport at 8 a.m. And then we need to be back to Denver Airport by 4 p.m. I heard about the Love This City murals by Pat Milbery. So I would like to build a tour around as many of the murals we can reasonably see. Number five, rules. You want to list out any rules you want the AI to abide by. So the only one that I have is we would like to only take public transportation and walk. So those are the main prompting tips. So let's see what our AI returns with. For this video, I used Perplexity for my AI agent. So let's see what it comes back with. It starts us off by recommending that we take the A line from the airport to Union Station. The trip takes about 40 minutes and costs about $10.50. Then arriving at Union Station at 8:45, it recommends breakfast at Snooze. It gives us 45 minutes to have breakfast and then suggests that we walk north to Broadway and 24th to see the original Love This City mural by Pat Milbery. At 10 a.m., the recommendation is that we walk through the River North Art District, better known as Rhino. There are 3 to 4 other Milbery murals nearby, but it doesn't tell us exactly where. And it gives us the option to pop into a local coffee shop for a quick espresso. But again, it makes no specific recommendations. At 10:40, it tells us to walk or take the free mall ride shuttle down towards the Civic Center. There, it gives us 2 locations to visit, the Colorado State Capitol and the Denver Firefighters Museum. At 12:30, it gives us suggestions to walk to lunch at Steuben's or at the Denver Milk Market. And giving us an hour for lunch, the next item on the agenda is to visit the Denver Art Museum at 1:30. The agenda gives us an hour at the museum, which is definitely not enough. The option is to stay at the museum or else head to the Golden Triangle District for more Milbery murals, or else walk back towards the lower downtown for street art and city landmarks. But again, it's not really specific as to where in the Golden Triangle the Milbery murals are, or anything specific in the lower downtown area. At 3 o'clock, we can have a quick snack at the Olive and Finch or at Denver Milk Market, which sets us up for a 3:30 return on the A train back to the airport. In the notes down here, it states that all destinations are walkable from Union Station or can be connected by the free shuttles called the Mall Ride. So this was actually quite useful, right? Because it gives us all the transportation, the prices, the duration, and so forth. The thing I don't like about it is that it's not very specific, even though I asked for a very specific thing like the Milbery murals. It doesn't tell us the address of where those things are. That looks like a pretty good job that AI did for us. But you know that things always change regardless of how well you have things planned. In real life, I got a pretty early start to get on the earliest flight. So of course I had to stop by the United Lounge to enjoy some breakfast to kick off the trip. The flight was on time, so I got to Denver Airport around 8 a.m. Finding the train station was really easy as I just followed the signs for the RTD, which is basically just outside the airport and down the escalator, and it brings you right to the train platform. Ticketing process is super easy. I walked up to one of these kiosk machines and selected the airport day pass for $10. This allowed me to take the train to and from the airport into Union Station, in addition to all buses across the system. The trains come and go every 15 minutes. After the 40-minute ride, I arrived at Union Station, which is actually a really beautiful building. There is a hotel in the station, as well as shops, coffee shops, bars, restaurants. One of the restaurants is Snooze, which is on our itinerary, but I wasn't hungry as I had breakfast at the United Lounge earlier. So I headed towards one of the Milbery murals, which was not listed on the itinerary. So here I am at the Sonder Osage Apartments and the mural. All right, first of the murals checked off the list, and I started walking back towards downtown. So this is now around 10 a.m. I have logged about 10,000 steps so far already. I continue my walk through the Denver Performing Arts Complex, the Convention Center, and then at this point, I decided that I have quite a bit of time before lunch, so I hopped on a bus towards another Milbery mural at 1380 Steele Street. This one is called Rise Above with Love. So after checking off another mural, I took the bus back to the Civic Center where I checked out the food trucks at the plaza. Nothing there was interesting to me, but I was getting hungry, so I started to head towards the Leven Deli. I passed by the public library and then the Denver Art Museum, which are both worthwhile checking out, but my stomach takes first priority. At this point, it was already 1 p.m., and I thought that the lunch crowds would have subsided by now. But the Leven Deli was still packed with a really long line. I decided to get the pastrami sandwich with the mac salad. Honestly, it was just okay and not worth the hype or the $34 it cost me for this lunch. With a full belly and 15,000 steps so far, I started to walk towards the final Milbery mural on my quest at Broadway and Arapahoe. I walked by the City Hall, the Federal Courthouse, and finally got to one of the most famous Love This City murals. From here, I walked back towards Union Station, but decided that I still had a little bit of time. So I hopped onto one of the free Mall Ride buses, which makes a giant loop from Union Station to the Civic Center and back. And it goes by the 16th Street Mall, Larimer Square, and other places downtown. So basically, the ride drops me off at Union Station just a few minutes before my 3:30 train back to the airport. And I'm back to the airport by 4:30, got through security, and had just enough time to hit the United Lounge again for a light dinner, as I'm still full from the big pastrami sandwich from lunch. And I get home just after midnight, racking up almost 25,000 steps for the day. Using AI to plan out a trip does save a lot of time and effort. But in order to harness the full power of AI, you have to know how to craft the right prompts in order to guide the AI towards an outcome that is to your satisfaction. But as of this video, AI is still not mature enough to be fully reliable. So you need to be aware of pitfalls like hallucinations, so you need to verify the outputs before blindly trusting it. For more travel-related videos, watch this video here. Make sure you click on the blue monkey to subscribe. Safe travels and make it memorable.